Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have discussed some problems in trigonometric ratios and identities. Okay. Today, our topic is trigonometric equations. This is the second chapter. After that, inverse trigonometric functions. Next one, hyperbolic functions. And last topic in trigonometry is properties of triangles. So today, we will discuss some concepts in trigonometric equations, inverse, hyperbolic functions, and also properties of triangles. Okay? So, trigonometric equations. An equation involving trigonometric functions is called trigonometric equation. For example, this is sin square theta minus 3 cos theta plus 7 equal to 0. This is an equation involving trigonometric functions. Here, sin theta and cos theta are trigonometric functions. So this is called an equation. What type of equation? Trigonometric equation. Okay. So we don't bother about the power, whether it is cubic equation or biquadratic or quadratic, whatever it may be. So an equation involving trigonometric functions. We know that we are having 6 trigonometric functions generally: sin theta, cos theta, tan theta, secant theta, cosecant theta, and cot theta. So an equation involving any trigonometric functions is called a trigonometric equation. Right. So in this one, number one is if the expression is in the form of, if the trigonometric expression, this is expression. If you take it left side, then it will become an equation. If the trigonometric expression is in the form of sin theta equal to sin alpha, then what is the general solution of this expression? How can you write the general solution of this expression? The general solution is given by theta equal to n pi plus minus 1 whole square into alpha, where n is integer. Understand? The general solution of the expression sin theta equal to sin alpha is given by theta equal to n pi, where n is integer, pi is radius, you know that, plus minus 1 whole square into alpha. This is the general solution. Number 2, if cos theta equal to cos alpha, then the general solution of this expression is given by theta equal to, this is 2n pi plus or minus alpha, where n is integer. Number 3, if tan theta equal to tan alpha, then the general solution is given by theta equal to, simply we can write theta equal to n pi plus alpha, where n is integer. We can take n is positive integer or negative integer. Understood? These are the main 3 concepts in trigonometric equations. Moreover, if you want to find the common solution of 2 or more trigonometric expressions, then you can write theta equal to 2n pi plus alpha, where n belongs to 10. First of all, we have to find the value of alpha. Further, if you want to write the common solution, okay, further we will write theta equal to 2n pi plus alpha. Right. These are the main formulas in trigonometric equations. Okay. If you want to do the procedure, then you can apply the formulas. What about tan theta? What about the remaining 3 functions? Secant theta, cosecant theta, and cot theta. If we get the equation in the terms of secant theta, convert into cos. Convert in the terms of cos theta equal to cos alpha, and write the general solution. If the given equation is in the terms of cosecant theta, for example, convert into sin, we know the general solution of sin theta equal to sin alpha. If it is in the form of cot, convert into tan, then you can write. Whatever the given equation, okay, for the given equation, we can convert in the terms of sin, cos, and tan. After that, we will write the general solution corresponding to the trigonometric function. Understood? So this is the way how to write the general solution. Generally, for some problems in trigonometric equations, okay, no need to take no need to remember these formulas actually. We will go through by verification. If the options are in the terms of n, take n equal to 0, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, then we will get some angles in place of theta. Substitute the dividend terms. By verification also we can do we can solve the problems in trigonometric equations, particularly for MSET. But for J means direct problems will not be given. Okay, so somehow we have to simplify the given problem. Later we can apply the general solution. Understood? So this is it. So this is about simple like concepts of trigonometric equations. If you come to next topic, inverse trigonometric functions. Inverse trigonometric function. What is inverse sine function? If you take sin theta equal to x, if the value of sin theta equal to x, we know that x belongs to closed minus 1 comma minus 1. Minus 1 comma plus 1. That means we know the range of sin theta. The minimum value of sin theta is minus 1 and the maximum value of sin theta is 1. So since we have taken sin theta equal to x, the value of x is always closed interval minus 1 comma 1. Then how can we get to? Then theta equal to what? Sin inverse x. This is called arc sine function. ARC arc. This can be written as arc sine x or sine inverse x. Okay? So this is the way how to write the inverse sine function. Similarly, what is inverse cosine function? If cos theta equal to x, where x belongs to again a closed interval minus 1 to 1, that means what we can write theta equal to cos inverse x. That is inverse cosine function. Similarly, inverse tan function, theta equal to tan inverse x. Inverse secant, secant inverse x. Inverse cosecant, cosecant inverse x. Inverse cot is cot inverse x. So we are having some formulas here. Number 1. What is sin inverse of minus x? Sin inverse of minus x is clearly minus sin inverse x, where x belongs to what? Closed interval minus 1 comma 1. Number 2. What is tan inverse of minus x? For this also you will get minus outside. So this is x belongs to what? Closed minus 1 comma 1. Number 3. Cosecant inverse of minus x is also minus will get outside. Cosecant inverse x. What about this one? So here mod x is greater than or equal to 1. Right? Number 4. Sorry. This is for tan, right? This is x belongs to tan. Tan inverse of minus x are done. Right? Cosecant inverse of minus x equal to minus cosecant inverse x for mod x is greater than or equal to 1. So this is for sin inverse of minus x, tan inverse of minus x, cosecant inverse of minus x. For these three formulas, minus will be outside. Understood? Now we will go to next one, like secant inverse of minus x. Secant inverse of minus x means we should not write minus secant inverse of x. This is what? Pi minus secant inverse x. For mod x is clearly number 5. Next one what? Cot inverse of minus x. This is also pi minus cot inverse x for x belongs to capital. Number 6, last one. What is remaining here? Cos. Cos inverse of minus x also what? This is pi minus cos inverse x. For this x belongs to what? Closed minus 1. For only cosecant inverse of minus x and cosecant inverse and secant inverse, the range of x is mod x greater than or equal to 1. Mod x greater than or equal to 1 means what? What is the meaning of this? X less than or equal to 1 or x less than or equal to minus 1 or x greater than or equal to 1. So what is the meaning of this? Open minus infinity comma closed minus 1 union closed 1 comma open infinity. Okay, both are equal. Right. Next. Number 7. Sin inverse of sin x equal to x for all x belongs to minus 1 to 1. Sin inverse of, this is general trigonometric function, general sine function. This is inverse sine function. Sin inverse of sin x equal to x whenever only x belongs to minus 1 to 1. If the value of x does not belong to closed interval minus 1 to 1, we should not write sin inverse of sin x equal to x. Generally, students are confusing here this concept. So every time whatever sin inverse of sin thing is given, sin inverse of sin x equal to x, this will happen only the range of x is minus 1 to 1. If x equal to minus 1 or if x equal to 1 or if the value of x is lies between minus 1 to 1 only, we will not do this one. Already we have done some problems in first year also in object 2 for particular geometry problems. For example, if you want to find the value of sin inverse of sin h, for Sin inverse of sin A. Here 8 is not given in degrees. If it is not given, what is the meaning of this? 8 radians. Okay. What is 1 radian? Approximately 57 degrees. Approximately. 1 radian equal to approximately 57 degrees. Okay. So what is 8 radians here? 8 into 57. 8 into 57 means how much will get now? Approximately 476 degrees approximately. That means what? Approximate value actually. So this is not in the interval of like you know. Wait. Here the range we have written down here. Sin inverse of sin x. Here the axis means angle. See here, sin theta and the sin inverse. Both are different. Sin theta in general trigonometric function, sin function. Here theta is an angle. In sin inverse x, the number inside the inverse function, that is a number. This is an angle, this is a number. Here we have written sin inverse of sin x. So tell me, is this x is number or angle? Angle, right? Angle means what is the value of this angle? Close to minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. Understood? Right, next one. Cos inverse of cos x. What is the meaning of this? Sin inverse of sin x equal to x. If the value of x is always lies in the interval minus 90 to 90. If the value of x is beyond this interval, that means greater than 90 or less than minus 90, we should not write sin inverse of sin x equal to x. Remember that point. If the angle x is lies between minus 90 to 90, you can write. For example, sin inverse of sin 45 degrees. In place of x, I have taken 45 degrees. 45 degrees clearly lies in this interval. So directly the answer is 45 degrees. Sin inverse of sin minus 30. I am taking x equal to minus 30. Minus 30 degrees is also lies in this interval. So directly we will minus 30 degrees. Okay? Right. Cos inverse of cos x. This is also x. What is the interval here? X belongs to what? Close to 0 comma pi. We should not have the same interval for cos inverse. Okay? Cos inverse of cos x equal to x. If the value of x is lies in the interval 0 to pi. 0 to pi means both first quadrant and second quadrant. Whenever the angle lies in first or second quadrant, then only you can write cos inverse of cos x equal to x. What will happen? Now how can we find this value? If the value of x is beyond this interval, we will do it later. Next one. What is next one here? Tan inverse of tan x equal to x for all x belongs to capital. Understood? So we will see here. If you want to find the value of sin inverse of sin 2 pi by 3. This is 2 pi by 3? This is clearly in the form of sin inverse of sin x. Is the sin inverse of sin x equal to x for all x belongs to capital? No. Whenever the value of x is lies in the interval minus 90 to 90, then only we can write sin inverse of sin x equal to x. What is in place of x given here? 2 pi by 3. 2 pi by 3 means what? 120 degrees. 120 degrees does not belong to this interval. This is beyond the interval, greater than 90, 120 degrees. That means how can you do this? We should not write this value as 2 pi by 3. Right? Now I am going to convert this. See here. This is sin inverse. That means if the given angle is beyond this interval, let us convert the big angle in this interval. Let us change that angle in this interval. Okay? See. How can you write this one? This is how can you write 2 pi by 3? This is sin of pi minus pi by 3. Is it right or not? What is pi minus pi by 3? 2 pi by 3. Now let us find this value. This is sin inverse of, let us assume this is theta. This is 180. This is in the form of sin of 180 minus theta. Sin of 180 minus theta in which quadrant? Second quadrant. What is sin of 180 minus theta? Sin theta 1. How much will get? Sin theta means what? Pi by 3. Again this is in the form of sin inverse of sin x. But here what is in place of x we got here? Pi by 3, 60. Now this is lies in this interval. So whenever the value of x is lies in this interval, directly we can write sin inverse of sin x equal to x. Now what is in place of x now? Pi by 3. So that is the difference between these two. Here the angle x is not in the interval minus 90 to 90. That's why we have converted. Now this angle